Today let's talk about 64-man servers. With Aftermath, they've become a lot more popular than they used to be. They're a lot less chaotic, they're actually a lot more tactical and enjoyable. And today I want to talk about some of the ideas and concepts that I use to adapt my game to playing on such a high capacity server. Hey guys, how's it going? Kulprit here, and like I said in the intro there, today I want to talk about how do you adapt your game to play on these 64-man, 48-man, the high-capacity servers. Now, listen, I understand some of you console guys, this might not really apply, but I think some of you will find it pretty interesting, and a lot of it can be, used the same way. I mean, it might not be a 64-man server, but some of the things I want to talk about will probably hold true when you go from a Caspian Border 24-man to a Metro 24-man. It's kind of the same principles, and it's just... I mean, the biggest thing for me is, and first, this is a 64-man Conquest. Was it 5 flags on Epicenter? I get on a little bit late. We're actually getting beat pretty good for early in the match, so you pay attention, see if we're able to pull it out. Basically, I'm going to talk about some ideas I use when I've been playing these servers. Now, I used to not play 64-man very often. You guys have probably heard me say that I think, 64-man and high-capacity servers are overrated previously. But in Aftermath, I feel like they did a pretty good job. Even on Rush, I've been playing high-capacity servers, which, I'm sort of forced to. That's what a lot of the custom servers are. But I've actually been having a good time. And I don't know if that's just because it's fun or if it's a new challenge for me to kind of adapt my game and come up with and create new tactics and things like that. So I'm enjoying myself, and that's a testament to the good design of Aftermath once again. I'm going to try and talk about some of the gameplay. Here you see me just kind of probing. I basically, my main principle, what I do is I kind of shrink my focus down. Now, normally if I'm playing a 32-man or a 24-man for you guys on the console, basically, you can run around, you can go get this flag, then move to that flag, and then maybe hold those two, then cap a third flag, and now you got the majority and you're doing well. You can go a little more Rambo. When you get up into these higher capacity, servers, you cannot really think like that. What you have to do is micromanage. You have to pick one flag, and I'm going to take that flag, I'm going to hold that flag, then I might egress to another flag. If I can have a hand in getting 2 flags out of the 5, I'm doing really well. So here in the first couple clips, you're seeing me kind of probing the other team. I've obviously picked B. I don't really remember why that was the case. This was actually a little bit older footage too, actually. So I didn't really know the map all particularly well. I probably just followed my squad. Now I'm playing completely random here. I don't know anybody in my squad or on my team as far as I know. I mean, maybe somebody joins on later. But yeah, I was playing all by myself, not conned up at all. You're actually going to see me do a little bit more support gameplay. Just messing around, trying different things. You're going to get a little glimpse of how I like to play support. I fully embrace the role as support, and just what it is just helping my squad, selflessly. Basically laying down cover fire, things like that, holding a position, even when it might not be the sexy thing to do, it might not be the glamorous, the glory move. I'm a big proponent in the support gunner should, obviously lay down suppressive fire, stay alive. I think that's a big thing. You've got a lot of firepower, let the people come to you, try to stay alive if your squad is down, and let them spawn on you. I mean, I think that's a big role that is often overlooked, and you'll see me do a couple times where you'll see my kill feed as I'm holding a point, but if you notice in that feed, you'll see squad spawn on you, squad spawn on you, squad spawn on you, and personally, my opinion is that is part of the biggest reason why we're able to hold some of the points we're holding. I hate to toot my own horn there, but I think as a solo guy, it's one of the best things you can do. There's no communication involved there. If you're in a good spot, your team will spawn on you whether you're in comms or not. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, you see here we're able to finally take B. Now we've got B. I'm gonna hold it now. Again, I don't know the rest of my squad. They immediately get aggressive and push up. I'm basically waiting for that counter wave. You know how it happens. I mean, you take this point. Pretty much the enemy team goes, oh wait, they see the mini map, B just went down, or B's flashing, whatever the case may be, let's go take it back. So what happens a lot of times in these, in some of these servers, it becomes a ring around the rosy kind of thing. You cap B, as you're running the C, the guys that were on A are now coming to retake B, and that's, oh god, that's not fun for me. I don't like games like that, matches like that. So a lot of times what I'll do, if I can find a good spot like this, where I can post up and I can just about hold off the enemy team by myself, I'm going to do that, especially if I just happen to have the support roll on there with a 5-potted LMG with a nice long sight line here. I mean, what more do you want as a support gunner? I mean, that's pretty much what you want. So I sit here for a little while, hold them off as long as I could. Damn earthquakes. And then, yeah, you know, I finally get taken out, obviously. But don't be afraid to do that as a support guy. I mean, you're going to get eventually taken out. And if that's just because you're doing your job. You're at the least suppressing people. You're getting kills. They're going to get really fed up with you. And they're going to flank you. And they're going to throw a lot of firepower to get rid of you. That's not a bad thing. Sometimes death is good. You've distracted a lot of resources onto you. And on a 64-man server, if you're getting 3 or 4 or 5 guys directing their attention on you as one person on a 32-man team, you're doing a good job. You're doing your job, and your team's probably turning the tide or winning because of it. If you can consistently do that for a match, your team is going to win. So, like I said, I like to adapt my game when I get onto these high-capacity servers. I like to micromanage my strategy, I guess, or my goals or my objectives. For me, PTFO takes on a little bit of a different meaning. Like I said, I'll take a flag, I'll hold a flag. What you're going to find is on these bigger servers, there's a lot more battles in different places than you're used to. You know, think Grand Bazaar for those of you guys that don't play. I mean, where does the fighting typically take place? It takes place in B flag in that corridor, maybe a couple of flanks here or there, but predominantly the action is in that corridor. Now, if you slap 64 players on there, what you're going to find is a lot of these battles start to take place in a little bit of different places that you're not used to, which is fun. That's probably the most enjoyable part for me, is I end up fighting over real estate that I'm not used to fighting for. It might be that 2-story building that has a really nice overwatch point. That suddenly becomes a lot more strategic when you've got 6 guys up in it, you know, covering a flag or covering an MCOM. That becomes a much more, you know, fought for piece of, like I said, real estate. Or it might just be a certain corridor or staircase, and they just turn into bloodbaths. They turn into meat grinders. That's the kind of evolution you see when you get into the higher servers. Here I'm trying to do a little anti-sniper work with the bipod. I have a little success, not as much as I want. It was kind of hard to get the bipod deployed on this rubble, which is still, I think bipods are still a pain in the butt. They usually get you killed more than they don't, or more than they aid you, I should say. But yeah, like I said, when you play, you can play the same map 1,000 times as a 24-player map, and then let's say you get a gaming PC, you come on, one of the first things you do, oh, 64 man, I want to try this. You'll find there's a lot of nuances that are different. A lot of the routes are different. You're gonna round a corner thinking you're safe. You never really get in a gunfight here. Suddenly there's a huge battle going on, and like I said, that's one of the things I enjoy the most, especially on these new maps. We don't even know the maps that well yet, and so you don't even have those predisposed ideas of where the fights are, where they aren't. So it's a lot of fun for me to see how the maps play differently. You know, I definitely am, you know, aware of that as I'm playing. Overall, as you see, I'm playing a lot more cautious. You know, one of the good things about the Aftermath maps, and in this map in particular, that I enjoy, is it mixes up the sight lines quite a bit. You've got a lot of close quarters fighting, where, you know, literally you're firing from the hip and things like that. But you also have these long sight lines that not just snipers can, but anybody with a good shot can get a good shot on you. And those long sight lines are valuable routes, so you do want to control them. You just saw me before where I was trying to clean out the snipers with the bipod at LMG. That's because I wanted that street secure. I wanted that street clear. I wanted my team to be able to run up and down that street to cap flags, defend flags, things like that. If you don't hold that street, it's a pain in the butt because you got to run through alleys and all kinds of things. So they give you a reason to fight for things like that. So you do have to expose yourself to sniper fire and things like that. Obviously, you guys, if you play this map, you know that crest, you know, the pile of rubble up there. Snipers like the head glitch up there. It can be a pain in the butt to get them out of there. So that's why you see me checking it. But you see me here. I'm running a little bit right behind cover. And I mean, that's one of the biggest things. You have to play more cautious. You have to play smarter. You have to play cover to cover for sure. And you just play slower. You're not going to be going from, you know, one flag all the way to the other side of the map to get another. It's not worth it. Particularly by the time you get there, the battle's over for it. And what's going to happen is by the time you get there, the flag you left is now under contest, and you should have been there to help defend it. So you end up staying in much more, you know, a much more static position on the map. Or be it, you know, maybe you're gonna be particularly in the AB area or the BC or whatever the flags are close. I mean, I'll play this map 10 times and I won't play at the same time once. And I cut parts out of this. This was about, I want to say, a 40 minute match. And, you know, I'm breaking you down. I cut it down as best I could, down to about 13 minutes. And even then, I was cutting clips out that I didn't want to cut out because I felt like it showed my point pretty well. Here, if you can get set up there, it's a pretty good little spot, getting them coming out of spawn. You see, we've managed to take the lead now. We've lost B, which, again, like I said, I kind of declared B my base flag, the one I want. And you see me here, I'm trying to work back towards it. Why B? Again, not any real reason. I do like B. I feel like being in the corner like that, it's kind of a good one to hold in that regard. I don't know what went on here. You'll see in a second. This guy was completely, I don't even know how he didn't get me. You'll find a lot of this too, is you'll be able to get guys completely unaware because there's just so much else going on that you can kind of slip through the crack right there, like relatively easy. You can get up in good positions. Now one detriment to playing high capacity servers like this is you're gonna get a lot of cheap deaths, and you just gotta expect that. It's gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna spawn in, you're gonna run, there's gonna be a guy camping. You got 64 players on a server. You're gonna get your fair share of tards. You're gonna get your fair share of guys that just literally rubble camp, you know, on the aftermath. So you just gotta be prepared to shrug it off. You're gonna have a long match. A lot of these matches go a long time. They have a lot of tickets. You're gonna get your chance to pile up kills. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about taking 5, 6, 7, 8 stupid deaths that you had nothing to do with, that there was nothing you could have done about them. And, you know, don't rage about it. This is a typical moment here. I mean, you see these staircase, 5, 6, 7 guys. You run a support with a, you know, ammo pack. You can pile on the points. This is a good example, like I told you, of how I like to play support for my team. I got my squad here. They're all green names. I'm trying to back them up, trying to support them. I'm not in comms with them. I'm just trying to bring value to the squad. You know, I'm not very used to high, you know, 64-man service. I'm not even really that sure I know what the heck I'm doing at this point, frankly. But you see, here, all right, I'll seal this street off. You guys go, work towards B. I'll hold down the street for you. Nobody is going to come down this street and assault my squad while I'm alive. I mean, granted, I'm at 1%, so I kind of have to tank, you know, turtle up a little bit. But, you know, I tell me if you consider this camping. I don't. I'm sitting here, I'm fully exposed. I'm holding an entire street by myself, more or less. And, you know, I'm keeping the enemy from coming down on my team while they're going and hopefully pushing up towards B. We don't, you know, B is not flashing currently, but that's pretty much because they only have 2 flags, and on, you know, a 32-man team, they're just continuing to spawn on those 2. It's pretty hard to take the last couple flags because there's just so many guys spawning at any given moment. So, I mean, basically, I just huddle up there, I turtle up, and I hold that street, hoping my squad can advance, and I can regain my health. I mean, that's just how you have to fight smart like that. You have to, you know, selfless here. Here's a nice little combo. Guy in his stomach surprised the heck out of me. I don't know what the heck he was doing there, unless he just got revived or something. But you see, I've now switched to the RPK. RPK I've slowly kind of fell in love with. I'm really enjoying it. I need to get extended mags on it bad. Yeah, he must have got revived there. Then surprises me again, but there's nobody near him. I don't really understand, but yeah, falling in love with the RPK. I definitely need to get extended mags on it because that would definitely help me out a lot. Here, like, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. There's just so many guys spawning. I just get picked off so quick. So anyway, guys, basically the basic idea is play slower, play smarter, cover to cover for sure, and micro manage the map. Don't think about just as soon as you see a flag flashing, I gotta go defend it. No, that's not the case. Sometimes you do have to rely on your team. I know that's an alien feeling, especially in Battlefield, if you don't know your team, but sometimes you just gotta do it. You gotta put your faith in the other team. You gotta say, that flag is on the other side of the map. Chances are I'm gonna die before I get there. If I do get there, the main battle's gonna be over. It's gonna be decided. I'm not gonna do anybody any good, and all I'm gonna be doing is taking one defender away from these flags. So you're better off sitting tight, defending the flags you own, defending the flags that you fought to get, and let your team worry about the rest. If you have a fairly competent team, it should work out. So let me know what you guys think, guys. You play a lot of high-capacity servers, 64-man, 48, whatever the case may be. Let me know how you adapt your game. How do you change it up? How do you do things differently? Is it small, kind of nuanced type things? Or do you just completely change your game as I did here, running support, playing very, you know, stationary, that type of thing? Like always, guys, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. It really helps me out. And I will talk to you soon in the next video, guys. Take care.